Okay, let's talk and see how far we get before my battery dies. I want to talk about what it means to be age appropriate. So what we hear a lot in the special education field, especially during IEPs, when service providers do tests on students, what do you call those? They're like evaluations. No, not evaluation. Oh my gosh, I don't remember. When they do these tests, they come back and they say, oh, your third grade student is performing at a 2-year-old level, like communicatively or something. And first off, I don't like any language like that during an IEP. I do not approve of. It's very kind of you, Nugget. I'm talking to the camera. Do you want to join me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So they do these tests, and they say that someone's performing at like a 2-year-old level, and I think that is very negative, and it is dangerous because then people start treating the child. Can you cover your mouth? And then they start treating the child like a 2-year-old. And this happens all the time with people in special education classrooms or people with disabilities, that they get treated like they're babies. And people come and talk to them and they'll just be like, oh, hi, aren't you so cute? What are you gonna do today? And even though we love Miss Rachel is for small children. Miss Rachel is not for a 3rd or 4th grader learning to talk. Here's what I think needs to happen. Whatever, these tests, these evaluations, we have to know where a child is at. And I think instead of saying, the child is performing like a 2-year-old, we can say things like, okay, these are the types of words that the child is communicating, or this is what the child is able to do, and this is what we want to work on. That's pretty much what is supposed to be happening at an IEP. What I have experienced so much more at IEPs is every therapist telling the parent that their child is performing very below average. A lot of people ask, what's the best evaluation to use for a child? Assessment. What is the best assessment? What is the best assessment to use for a child? And for people, I would say a lot of children, but especially for children with significant disabilities, it would be a person that they're used to and a location that they're used to. You're supposed to be testing a child to see where they're at, but if you're going to give them a bunch of, let me help you there. If you're about to give them a bunch of questions by someone they've never seen before, so they have no idea how to interact with each other in a room that they've never been in before, so maybe it smells different, maybe the temperature is different, they're sitting on a chair that's uncomfortable. I don't care how amazing the school psychologist is. If this is like their 2nd or 3rd time in their room, they're not going to be performing at the level that they're even capable of. You want to go back on?
Yeah.
Okay. Assessments alone, it's such a huge topic of discussion for me, because I've seen so many people pull a student out of their where they're comfortable, in the classroom that they're comfortable in, bring them into their office that they've never been into before, ask them a bunch of questions, and then come back and say, oh, they're performing like a 2-year-old. So what you should do is meet the student where they're at. So if they prefer being in the classroom, is there a time where, maybe all the students are quiet, or it's a quieter time and they can be tested in the classroom? Or maybe they go to the school psych room a little bit more frequently before they're about to do this assessment, so they can get used to the location, get used to communicating with the psychologist, and so forth. You can show the report, you can show where the student is compared to like the mean or median of where students are. If a child is already in a moderate, severe, or a significant, extensive support needs classroom, the parent knows that they need more modifications and accommodations already. And I think changing your mindset and not using language like they're performing like a 2-year-old is going to give you the you know, the mindset of like, okay, so this is where the student's at, this is where I want the student to be. And that's what I think is most important with assessment. So back to age appropriateness. It's so important to talk to a child the age that they're at. So if they're 10, you shouldn't be going in and saying,
what are you doing?
oh, hi. We're recording a video for YouTube for my millions of followers. And we're going, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, you look so cute in that wheelchair. Oh, you're doing such a good job. Are you having a good day? That doesn't work for a 10-year-old. Does it work for a 2-year-old? Yeah, it does work for a 2-year-old, but not for a 10-year-old. Talk to them like they are a person. Talk to them like they are a 10-year-old, because that is what everybody wants. We just want some respect, right? Yeah. I would love to share a story. I went to this I went to this beauty pageant activity for people with disabilities. But it, you know, it wasn't very inclusive. It was children with disabilities were the only ones in it. And then the people who like watched them out or hosted it were people without disabilities that were like getting volunteer hours. So one of the contestants, she was in her 40s, and they asked her a question like, what is your dream or something? And what she said was to marry Justin Bieber. She has a crush on Justin Bieber. Something that is inappropriate for a 40-year-old to say. How often in her life she was talked down to like a small child. And even though her body is showing that she is 40 years old, everybody has said that her mind is 2, 3, 4 years old. And now here she is as a 40-year-old woman saying she likes Justin Bieber, who at the time was like 16. I mean, he's still really young, but at the time he was under 18, and I just kept thinking like how dangerous of a mindset it is for people without disabilities to be treating people with disabilities like they're less than. And that's not okay. And so this woman has never really been talked to like the human that she is. And this happens a lot where people become adults, and out of the public education system, people are like, well, they'll figure it out. They're 18. And it's like, how are they going to figure it out? How are they going to figure it out when no one has helped them? No one has taught them that people have put them... You're being quiet. Great, thank you. That people have put them in this bubble that they, even though they're 10, they are at a 2-year-old level, and that's how they're going to treat them. So make sure to treat people the age that they are, no matter the ability. And I also feel like I need to say, it doesn't mean, you know, they're 18, so now we're just gonna say, okay, go get a house, go get a job. Like, there's still modifications and accommodations to support people
Mama,
of all abilities. You're frustrated, Anna?
I have one in
Oh, you have one? Okay, squeeze it 10 times and it'll probably be done, okay? Inclusion means that everyone needs to have the mindset that everyone can be included appropriately in the community that they choose to be a part of. I'm almost all done. Did you do it 10 times? Wow, that was fast. Anyways, I would love to hear your guys' opinions, stories, anything. Drop it below, and we will talk later. Inclusion starts with you, and I just want to help. Happy Thursday.
Bye.